So I think all four subtypes have the quality that is common among ISTPs, which is focusing on skill building and competence. I think that would be important for you as an ISTP listening right now. If you're thinking about the career to go toward or maybe flex the career you're in, competence is going to be at the top of the list. Beyond that, though, you can start to identify, just start to think in terms of the different energies, the different expressions of the ISTP personality, and start to think, okay, I'm more like a creative. I think that would be more my style is to go toward that. Maybe you're not in a career that lends itself to the subtype that you feel natural toward. The other thing to consider is, remember, ISTP is the type. These are expressions of the type. It doesn't create new types from this. And throughout our life, we can flex and flow into the different expressions of that type. Not only will the subtype you identify with help you choose a career path for your life or shape that career path, but the career path will also shape you and your subtype.
Right.
So the way you express, maybe you started off life as more of a creative, but your career choice required more of a dominant subtype energy. Over time, you're going to start showing up more like a dominant subtype.
Right.
So the career can actually influence the way you show up to the world.
Yeah.
Which means be very careful which career you choose because it's going to shape you as a person. I mean, that sounds like common knowledge, but how much attention and time do we put into the way our career affects us and our cognition? Mm-hmm. So just take this right now as an ISTP and just start to think in terms of some of the different, career clusters we talked about with these different subtypes, and ask yourself, is this in alignment with me? Do I feel like this makes sense for me anymore? Is this the career I really would want? And sometimes you've got enough career capital. Like let's say you're a normalizing subtype and you've spent 2 decades in some job or career. You built a ton of competence. You know what you're doing. It doesn't feel like you though. You wish you could do something different, maybe more creative or more dominant subtype stuff. But you don't want to give up all of that. You're like, how do I give up 2 decades of competence to start over again and try something new? So that could be a challenge. We get it. We understand. But these are some of the things we want to seed to you as you think about your career going forward.
Yeah. And certain subtypes, everything's a trade-off.
Yeah.
The dominant ISTP tends to be in a better financial position, but they also can get really stressed out and paranoid from it, right? Because anytime they're in a situation where they so often feel certain and confident that when they don't, it's really undermining. And so they're the ones that have the biggest crashes. The normalizing ISTP subtype, they usually bring their expertise to the world, but sometimes they don't always get the highest reward, but they have the most consistency of behavior. And so they might not feel like they might have some need for expressive outlet, right? And something that really... like there's a consistency there. They might not have the high. When I say highest reward, I mean like highest like personal fulfillment in a normalizing subtype role. So that's the other piece of it is that's what you trade out. You trade out consistency sometimes for personal fulfillment. Creative subtypes are the opposite. They have a lot of usually personal fulfillment, but sometimes it's hard to bring a career-minded, sort of like bring a financial mind to a creative endeavor. And so they might get really good at what they do, but are they able to stick around long enough to trade their technical, visual, beautiful innovations for the amount of return they should be getting? Yeah. And the harmonizing ISTPs, one of the advantages is that there's an idiosyncratic nature to them. They are a lot less persuaded by how society is set up. This ISTP is okay with being a little off. It doesn't really bother them. Like other ISTPs might feel that sort of distance between themselves and society, but this ISTP is fine with it. They kind of shrug and go, whatever. But the challenge is that they can miss out on reward because they are adjacent to society. So they're not as bothered by it, and that's nice, right? They can build a little life for themselves, but they might miss out on some things that society does have to offer. So it's always a cost-benefit analysis. And what I try to do in looking at these subtypes is figure out what is the thing that I am missing out on, and how do I put myself in a position to be able to develop those skills, sometimes in careers or hobbies or whatever, apply myself to those things to be able to get those rewards and then also be able to land at whatever's most comfortable to me.
Yeah.
So when you're choosing a career, is there a reward you're missing out on? Is it the reward of finances? Is it the reward of consistency? Is it the reward of expression? Is it the reward of being able to just be your own person and not care? What is the thing you're looking for? And the career choice there might be the thing that offers you the ability to grow into that.
Yeah.